Dyslexia. Dyslexia isn't a sign of low intelligence. It's a brain that processes information in a completely different format. While most people read by decoding linear sequences of letters, dyslexic minds operate like widescreen projectors, taking in the whole landscape instead of the single path. Words may scramble, rotate, or flip, but ideas snap together in large, interconnected patterns. This global processing style comes with unexpected strengths. Dyslexic thinkers excel at seeing systems rather than sentences, understanding how pieces fit, noticing relationships others miss, and imagining structures in 3D with remarkable clarity. Studies show they outperform in tasks involving spatial reasoning and mental rotation, the kind of skills used by engineers, architects, designers, and filmmakers. While reading demands slow, detailed decoding, the dyslexic brain is busy mapping concepts, possibilities, and patterns. It's not a weaker route, it's a wider one, and that wide-angle thinking fuels creativity, problem-solving, and innovation in ways linear thinkers struggle to match. Dyslexia is not a limitation of intellect. It's a reallocation of cognitive resources, trading speed in one task for exceptional ability in others. And just as the brain can rewire thought, the senses can rewire themselves too, turning hearing loss into an unexpected upgrade in perception and awareness. Deaf or hard of hearing. Deafness isn't silence. It's a shift in the way the brain senses the world. When hearing decreases, the auditory cortex doesn't sit idle. The brain reroutes that processing power into sight and touch, sharpening visual awareness and peripheral detection far beyond what most hearing people experience. Studies show that many deaf and hard-of-hearing individuals react faster to motion in their side vision. Their brains carve out extra bandwidth for visual processing, turning what would seem like a deficit into a heightened survival tool. The world becomes a landscape of movement, expression, and micro-gestures, signals others miss entirely. Sign language amplifies this advantage. It strengthens working memory, boosts attention control, and trains the brain to switch between linguistic modes with high precision. And there are everyday superpowers, too. Holding conversations across noisy crowds, reading emotions by body language alone, communicating underwater, or spotting visual shifts that warn of danger before a sound ever could. Deafness doesn't erase a sense. It sharpens the others, and just as the immune system adapts through sensory shifts, it can also overreact in ways that seem inconvenient at first, but hide unexpected strengths, like in the case of seasonal allergies. Seasonal allergies. Seasonal allergies feel like betrayal. Flowers bloom, the weather warms, and your immune system launches into full DEFCON mode. But beneath the sneezing, itching, and watery eyes lies an evolutionary quirk that gives allergy-prone people an unexpected biological edge. An immune system that reacts faster, harder, and earlier than everyone else's. Allergy sufferers are environmental detectors. Their bodies pick up microscopic pollen changes before most people even notice the season shifting. That hypersensitivity might feel like misery, but it reflects an immune system trained for rapid surveillance, catching tiny irritants, pathogens, and chemical changes long before the average person's defenses wake up. Studies suggest that the same immune patterns linked to allergies also correlate with stronger pathogen awareness and lower risks for certain types of cancers. A vigilant immune system may cause more day-to-day annoyance, but it can also respond more aggressively when real danger appears. And beyond biology, allergies turn people into experts on airflow, season cycles, and environmental quality. They keep cleaner spaces, watch pollen counts, and adapt quickly to shifts in climate, habits that indirectly promote overall health. Allergies aren't weakness. They're hypersensitivity repurposed as early warning. And just as the immune system can become over-attentive, the brain can become under-attentive to something most people take for granted: faces, turning face blindness into a unique perceptual adaptation. Face blindness, prosopagnosia, isn't simply being bad with faces. It's the brain treating faces like any other object, familiar yet unrecognizable, similar yet indistinguishable. But instead of shutting down, the mind compensates by building a different type of recognition system, one that relies on detail, movement, and nuance, rather than appearance. People with face blindness become perceptual detectives. They memorize voice patterns, posture, walking rhythm, clothing choices, hand gestures, and even the way someone holds a cup. They read tone and body language with extraordinary precision because their brain shifts processing away from identity and toward behavior. This creates an unexpected advantage. They see people as they are, not as they look. They bypass appearance-based assumptions and stereotypes because faces don't dominate their perception. Character, tone, and intention take center stage, and in environments where cues are fast, subtle, or non-visual, crowded rooms, dark spaces, noisy venues, prosopagnosic individuals often navigate better than people who rely heavily on facial recognition. Face blindness replaces appearance with awareness, and just as one trait rewires recognition, another rewires chemistry, turning alcohol intolerance into a hidden layer of biological protection. Alcohol intolerance. Alcohol intolerance feels like your body is overreacting. The flushed skin, the rapid heartbeat, the sudden wave of dizziness after just a sip or two. But this isn't weakness. It's a genetic safeguard designed to protect you from damage long before it begins. The ALDH2 mutation slows the breakdown of acetaldehyde, a toxic compound far harsher than alcohol itself. While most people neutralize it quickly, those with this mutation experience an immediate alarm response. The redness, nausea, and heat are your biology stepping in, demanding you stop. And here's the twist. This mutation dramatically reduces the risk of alcohol addiction and decreases the likelihood of long-term liver damage. It's evolution's built-in off switch, a biochemical defense that forces moderation before harm can take hold. What others see as fragility is actually resilience written into your DNA, a trait that rewards discipline without asking for it. And just as chemistry can create unexpected protection, another so-called disadvantage hides its own quiet upgrade, the enhanced precision and focus found in nearsighted vision. Nearsightedness, myopia. Nearsightedness makes the distant world blur. Street signs fade, faces soften, and faraway details dissolve into fog. But up close, the myopic eye becomes a biological magnifying glass, capturing fine detail with a sharpness most people never experience. What seems like a visual limitation is actually a specialization. Myopic eyes bend light more strongly, bringing near objects into razor focus. This gives nearsighted individuals an edge in tasks requiring precision. Reading, drawing, crafting, coding, analyzing textures, noticing microscopic details others skim past. Where most people see close, they see crystal. Throughout history, this trait shaped artisans, scribes, engineers, toolmakers, and watchers of the fine and intricate. Evolution didn't eliminate myopia because near-range specialists were essential, the ones who stitched, carved, inspected, repaired, and observed what hunters and travelers couldn't. Today, that same advantage powers designers, surgeons, digital artists, researchers, and anyone who works in detail-rich environments. Myopia narrows the distance but sharpens the resolution, a trade that still benefits modern minds. Far vision may blur, but near vision becomes a superpower. And just as the eyes can specialize through focus, the mind can specialize through unpredictability, turning ADHD into a high-speed engine for creativity and innovation. ADHD. ADHD is often framed as distraction, a restless mind bouncing between thoughts like radio stations out of tune. But beneath that noise lies a brain wired for speed, creativity, and explosive bursts of focus when the moment demands it. What looks like chaos from the outside is often a different kind of efficiency. The ADHD brain thrives on novelty. New ideas, new challenges, new connections. It processes them at accelerated speed, jumping across concepts in ways linear thinkers rarely can. That rapid-fire thinking fuels innovation, problem-solving, humor, and improvisation. It's not lack of focus, it's divergent focus, the ability to scan multiple possibilities at once. And then there's hyperfocus. When something is interesting enough to spark the dopamine ignition, the ADHD brain locks on with intensity that surpasses most people's normal attention span. Hours pass in minutes. Tasks transform into tunnels. The world narrows to a single point. What was once a distraction problem becomes precision laser focus. This wiring shines in high-pressure, fast-changing environments, emergency work, entrepreneurship, creativity, technology, combat, strategy. Where others freeze or overthink, the ADHD mind accelerates. ADHD isn't a broken attention system. It's a differently calibrated one, trading consistency for creativity, steadiness for speed, predictability for possibility. And just as the mind can amplify perception inward, the senses themselves can amplify perception outward, turning high sensitivity into a full-spectrum upgrade of the nervous system. High sensitivity, HSP trait. High sensitivity is often misunderstood as fragility. The person who feels too much, notices too much, or reacts too deeply. But biologically, highly sensitive people operate with a nervous system set to a higher resolution. They take in more information per second than the average brain, processing sensory and emotional data with exceptional depth. Their filters are thinner, which means everything arrives unmuted. Subtle shifts in tone, micro-expressions, faint background sounds, tiny environmental changes. What overwhelms them isn't weakness, it's bandwidth. They're running the world in Ultra HD, while others operate on standard settings. This trait wasn't an evolutionary accident. Early human groups relied on sentinels, individuals who detected danger before it hit. The sensitive ones noticed the rustle in the bushes, the shift in wind direction, the slightest tension in the tribe. Their role was awareness. Their survival tool was perception. Today, that same wiring fuels deep empathy, artistic talent, emotional intelligence, and intuitive decision-making. Highly sensitive people excel in roles requiring insight, observation, creativity, and care. They don't react more because they're weaker. They react more because they're receiving more data than everyone else. Sensitivity isn't overload. It's accelerated perception, a hidden design that turns awareness into advantage. See you in the next video. Today, when you jump at a small noise, spiral over an unread message, or imagine the worst-case scenario from something minor, it feels irrational.